All right, Carl, the 2025 Australian Open final set. Djokovic just retires. Let's talk about both finals.
Well, we got to what? Like I said, the doper against, you call him wife beater?
Oh, Zverev, yeah, and Sinner. So you're right. One has had an issue, I guess you could say, personally off the court, and one has been accused, I guess you could say, of cheating, or I guess not talked about, not discussed. So you're right.
We were watching a little bit of a few points here of Djokovic and Zverev, and just watching the match, you feel bad for Djokovic. You know, he didn't really look good out there. He looked very disinterested.
For me, the post-match conference spelled it. He had to look for me in the post-match conference of what we were talking about the other day, which seems to be a look in a lot of people's faces in society these days. Kind of a look of, geez, just kind of, I've had enough. Kind of just, what am I still fighting so hard for? Has anyone picked up on this vibe? Is it just us? We were talking about this the other day, that just in society as a whole, it just seems like some people look like a caged lion, like they lost their ability. He just looked disinterested to me in the match. It's unfortunate to see because, again, I'm not a big Zverev fan at all. Not because of I guess his off-field stuff, but just not a big fan of him. And
yeah,
I guess for the final, I guess I would pull for Zverev. I guess get that major. I guess that you could say
he should have had.
He should have had maybe.
Yeah. I feel the same. I think Sasha. I would be rooting for him. I like his interview though. He said, "Don't boo Djokovic." He is injured. I'm guessing he wanted to beat Alcaraz, and they're buddies too. I'm sure he's like, "Why am I doing this? I have 10 already." You could tell his leg. He didn't move well. He didn't hit his backhand like he usually does.
He sliced the ball a good bit.
Yeah,
just kind of disinterested.
Yeah, it was too many rallies.
We have the highlights here.
Too many rallies going back and forth where usually he'd put the ball away. We all know he likes to hit that open stance backhand. Didn't really see much of that. I did like his interview. He said, his brother helped him out with the toss, lowered his toss a bit, which is probably very smart in tennis. You don't need to have such a high toss for your serve. I'm going to root for him. A little bummed out that Ben Shelton couldn't do more. Guess he needs a lot more experience.
The Djokovic, I don't know if he plays another year. Again, just look disinterested. When you have 24 majors going for 25, you've got 10 Australians. The next active player, still active today on the men's side, has one center. Is that correct? Does Medvedev have one? So I don't think anybody's knocking on the door to get 10, nor do I think they will. I think that will stand for a while. But he just looks disinterested, maybe kind of like a caged lion at this point. He's been just really ravished. He's the Djokovic. That's I think we've done 1,000 shows on people saying Nadal was the GOAT and Federer was the GOAT and Djokovic was the GOAT long before any of them had 20 respectively plus. And we always agreed on one thing. A lot of people think their favorite is because they like the person, but when it comes down to things on paper, wins, losses, head-to-heads against the best in the world, Djokovic is the GOAT. He's at 24. I'm sure he believes that. I'm sure most sane people believe that or agree with that. And for his post-match, he just seemed like, maybe it's time for me to take a step back.
He has family. He doesn't have Nadal and Federer fueling him. Alcaraz fuels him. That's where he played really good. I don't think there's many players that fuel him to want to fight. You also, it's like any athlete. There's always athletes out there that get pushed because of another athlete. I don't think that many athletes are pushing him to want to keep fighting. He's got a beautiful family. Maybe it's time to enjoy his family time, travel with his kids, his wife. Why not?
You think he'll train the little ones to be...
I don't think that he probably doesn't want them to go the same way, same route. I'm sure usually we see athletes, tennis players, their kids choose another sport,
All right, last question. Do you watch the men's final? Do you care to watch it, honestly? Go.
No, I will not watch it. I'll watch the previews. I think I'll watch, depending on what time, Sabalenka and Madison Keys.
I'm sorry, I missed that. So Sabalenka is playing Keys in the final.
Right.
So she pulled out multiple match points against Swiatek.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna root for Keys because I felt like she should have won the U.S. Open against Sloane Stephens. So hopefully she can do it. She's married now. Maybe she's happier in a happier place, hitting freely. It looked like she did pretty good against Swiatek. I'm glad Swiatek lost, or Swiatek, however you say it.
it's very possible that Djokovic gifted that match to Zverev. At the same time, I mean, and I'll do respect. Zverev has been beating around the block a pretty good bit too.
Yes.
You look at all the athletes over the years, and I'm watching him play here. I like the red outfit. You look at all the players over the years that have had women or off-field issues that we still admire. Tiger Woods, Mike Tyson, Kobe, I think, respectively. Who are some other ones? The list goes on, right?
Many.
I think that's one thing. Another thing, though, is the doping aspect. How many players have ruined careers, like ruined for speculation of less across multiple sports? Could you imagine if it was a brother? Could you imagine if that was Usain Bolt during the Olympics that got caught with that cream?
Oh, it would be. All his medals would be stripped.
He would be disbarred, and everybody would say he was worse than who's the guy with the Live Strong, Lance Armstrong.
Lance Armstrong.
So he would be burnt. So it's just weird to me. It's wrong to me that Yannick Sinner, here's the blonde hair, blue eyed or whatever.
But he's not even a good looking dude.
But either way,
they need
that's
him.
just
They need him.
Whatever. Screw that. So
the tennis needs him right now. They don't have anyone. The reason why these people are not being dropped is because they need players like Swiatek. They need players like Sinner. They just need them right now. Right now, we don't have many personalities. We don't really have anyone exciting except, those that find Alcaraz exciting. There's not many exciting players. The juniors look up to these players. I mean, who can they really look up to right now?
I think geopolitically they would rather give a slime bucket, or refrain that off the record, a young kid that looks a certain way, or they need him, a pass, given that they would fry someone like Usain Bolt. Now, isn't it a great story in of itself that this man right here, this father, this loyal patriot who has taken so much shit, is going for a quarter of 100 freaking majors? But you know what? They don't want to give it to an Eastern Bloc hardworking gentleman that's weathered the storm. That they want the Westerner to prevail. And I'm not going to get into geopolitics, but that's true. And I think Djokovic in the post-match interview just looked like, you know what? I've had enough. I'm not interested in this match. I could pull it out in 5, but I don't have to prove that. So good for you, Zverev. Go ahead and rest up for the final. All right, now for the Sabalenka Keys. I'm more interested in that match. Go Keys. I think she had an opportunity against Sloane Stephens in the U.S. Open final. Correct me if I'm wrong, got polished by her, 1-0 or some shit. Then she wiped the floor with her in the final. Do I have that wrong?
I don't know. It was 1-0, but it was a quick.
I mean, I think she wiped her off the floor. I'll give someone a shout out if you can tell me what the score was. So go Keys, go USA. USA Tennis is in dire
And
need.
nothing wrong with Sabalenka.
Well, okay,
there's nothing wrong. She hasn't done anything wrong besides screeching.
No, okay. So here, my only problem with Sabalenka is if I turn up the volume during one of her matches, my screen fractures. Because the screech is absolutely hideous. During our live shows, I would talk about how much I liked her, and she ultimately would win her first major, but I couldn't stand the sound of someone getting their legs sawed off right before they hit the ball every time. And she's a one-gear player. Whack-a-boom, scratch-a-roo, or screech-a-roo. Whack-a-boo, scratch-a-roo.
It works. Right
early in her career, she would miss her shot. She double fault a lot. She cleaned it up. Okay. I feel like a great defender, such as Swiatek, would have kind of leveled the playing field there. I'm glad Keys got the best of it, but go Keys. I don't want to watch the match because of the screeching. If I do, it'll be with the mute button on. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yeah,
All right, your thoughts, put it in comments. We'll give you a shout out next week. We're off to go de-ice our clay court, so hopefully we can have an event tomorrow. So we'll do another deal tomorrow after the finals or the next day and give us some answers to those questions. We'll shout you out, all right? Boom!